This 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV just had its 3rd birthday. I thought we should review it. Introduced in 2018, the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV has been our family car for the last few years. This model was built in November of 2017 and is now 3 years old. Let's review how well it's held up over these years. The exterior of the car has done well, even in the Minnesota winters. I really have no complaints about it. It is generally a car that is on the cheaper end of construction materials, but seems to be holding up well. As you can see, ours has fared well. I really have no complaints of the exterior styling or the vehicle itself. One of the key features of the Outlander PHEV is that it is a true electric hybrid, meaning that it has an electric battery pack that can run purely electric off energy that comes from your electric grid, but also has a gas backup motor to extend your range. Prior to owning the PHEV, I had a Nissan Leaf for 1 year, which did not fare well in the northern Minnesota climate. The Outlander PHEV with its all-wheel drive system has been a great vehicle. This car has been used with 4 children in it and is holding up reasonably well. The dash material is a little bit soft, and I've had to have the kids not use their backpacks in the back seat to avoid being scratched. One of the other complaints is, if you look at the floor, is that there is often deep pockets in where dirt can fall and can be very difficult to clean. If you look under this floor mat, for some reason there's a divot in the flooring that collects dirt. This is even more noticeable in the rear seat, where, because of the battery pack arrangement, the floor mats are elevated, and all around them there's a lower area that drops in about 2 inches all the way around. So unless you enjoy cleaning your vehicle with a straw, which I often do around my seats, that's one major disadvantage. In the rear of the vehicle, there is reasonable storage, and there is some storage underneath the rear cargo area where we keep the charger. I use a level 2 charger on this vehicle in my garage, which will charge it in about 2 hours, and we can make most of our driving on pure electric. One of the major drawbacks is folding down the rear seats if you want to put more in. It is a multi-step process in that you have to first put your headrest down, then flip forward the seat, then put your seat down. Also, this whole mechanism seems somewhat flimsy and not well designed. The seat does recline a little if you want it to. We generally keep it in the reclined. When putting it back together, you have to get it lined up and make sure your seat belts are lined up to put back in. And again, on this side, we've got areas that have deep pockets that collect dirt, and I often clean it with a straw attached to the vacuum to get it cleaned out. The plastics could be better quality. The leather seems to be of good quality. Let's show you some of the features inside this Outlander PHEV. This is a GT model, which has some features that are not standard on the regular model. One being a heated steering wheel, 2 being a 1500 watt inverter built in with plug-ins in the rear of the vehicle and behind the center console. All PHEV models demonstrate their battery charge by this screen here, which shows you what your charge status is. This one is showing 21 miles of range estimated, which it is rated at 22 miles of range. And as we stated, this vehicle is 3 years old. It is doing relatively well at maintaining that. How you drive determines how it's doing. I can show how it's getting miles per gallon and how it's doing on electricity. I can also show what this vehicle has done since the time that we purchased it. And we have averaged 45.1 miles per gallon on it, driving it in winter driving and summer driving all around. To run this vehicle in electric only mode, there are controls that you push that changes it to electric only, which will mean that it will run primarily on electricity. You can also recharge your battery by pushing the charge button to charge your battery off of gas if you want, or if you want to maintain your battery charge, you can use the save mode. So let's take it for a drive in electric mode and talk a little bit about why I decided to purchase a new car, even though I had sworn I'd never do that again. As you can see, when you drive in all electric, it's very silent. It's very peppy with the electric motors with a lot of low-end torque. When I turned 16, I bought a brand new car after working 2 summers to buy up for it. It was a brand new Chevy S10 pickup, which for me was something I decided I would never do again. I felt trapped in a vehicle that had lost a lot of value right after I purchased it. So buying a new car again was something that I thought would not be something I would do. What prompted me to do this was calculating the cost of ownership for this vehicle, considering the good gas mileage and the prospect of driving electric only. I calculated on the other vehicles that we had been driving, which included an old 2003 Suburban and other older vehicles, that we would often, even though the cost of depreciation on the vehicle itself was less than 10 cents a mile, by the time I added in fuel, would get me into the mid-20s to even 30 cents a mile. This vehicle calculated out at around 23 cents a mile, including fuel, which is a considerable savings. So the prospect of driving a new car for less than the cost of the old cars was appealing to me. This does not quite accelerate like a Tesla, but it's not bad. We have found there to be plenty of room inside most of the time for what we need, but it is tight compared to a Suburban. So one of the features that is really nice about electric vehicles is that they handle well with a very low center of gravity, and this is very noticeable in this vehicle. It feels very planted and handles corners well, as well as snow and other conditions. One of the complaints about the vehicle is that the gas motor can be loud when you turn it on. I'm going to put it into charge mode here, and you'll hear the gas motor kick in. At highway speeds, it is not that noticeable, and with the radio on, it is not that noticeable, but it does disrupt your drive. It, however, is a seamless operation. You can see on the screen that the gas motor is charging the battery now. We'll put it in drive and go, and you can see that it prefers to charge the battery and then use the electric motors at first, but if you accelerate hard, it will at times kick in the gas motor directly to the wheels, which it is not doing there, but at times it'll do that. There, now you can see that has coupled the gas motor to the drivetrain and is charging the battery at the same time. This is because I turned the defrost on, and it is using the electric power to run the defrost at this point, since the engine is not fully warmed up. Using your defrost will affect your all-electric range, although not as bad as it did on my Nissan Leaf. So, in general, this Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV GT has been an excellent vehicle for us. It has performed as well as I expected. It does well on electric. The battery is holding up well. One of my main complaints about my Nissan Leaf was that the battery was degrading rapidly. I had purchased that one as a used California car as a good deal, and I did well with it and actually sold it for more than I paid for it, but it still was deteriorating. This does not seem to be deteriorating in that same manner that the Leaf was. However, this is probably not our permanent vehicle. Our kids are growing, and this vehicle will likely not fit all of our needs going forward. For one, it cannot be used as our primary vehicle since there are 6 of us, and we only use it as our secondary vehicle. So in January of 2019, I did put a deposit down on a Rivian R1S, and we'll likely do a comparison of the capability of those 2 vehicles when the Rivian arrives about a year from now. The Rivian seems to be an exceptional vehicle, and when calculating the cost per mile of owning that vehicle, including fuel cost, will be considerably less than a Chevy Suburban or other Tahoe-sized vehicle. But we will see when it arrives and if they can meet their production goals. Thanks for watching our review of this 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. It has been a good vehicle for our family, and I would recommend it as an economical buy. When you factor in the low cost of fuel, it becomes a much more affordable vehicle than it seems at first. We look forward to reviewing other vehicles in the future for you. And again, thanks for your time.